It's Nights with Elaina. I am on a Zoom right now with the one and only Blake Shelton. I'm so happy to see your face, man. What a good day it is today.
I know. My gosh, it's just been coming on now for, I think, like 3 years or 2.5 years since we've released a studio album. We did put that hits package out last year or 2 years ago, whenever that was, but that doesn't count, as a studio album. So we're excited. We've been sitting on these songs for forever, not even knowing what the hell we were going to do with them, and finally feels like, COVID's starting to end a little bit, or we're starting to get to a point where the world's coming back to life, and we want to put an album out there, so here we are.
In 12th studio album. I heard you say somewhere that ahead of releasing Body Language that you weren't sure that you were gonna release another album, which kind of messed with my mind. Is that really true?
Yeah, I'm still not sure. I think my problem with it is, or has been, is there's never been a time that I've made an album and released it that by the end of the cycle, because when you release an album, and you know this, when you release an album, at that moment the clock starts ticking on that album, and every time we move on from a project like that, meaning we've released 3 or 4 singles, I always feel like we left 1 or 2 songs on that album that should have been singles, or it could have been hits, and I feel responsible for that, especially for the writers, who gave me a song that they know in their heart was a hit, and I knew was a hit, but it was time to move on from the project, and it just bothers me, and I just love the idea of being able to just release singles, but I also know that I don't know how record labels have to survive on something, so I get it. I get that they have to put out an album, and of course they do. But I love being able to react to songs when I hear them, and so that's why I love to just record a song and just put it out there and let it be what it is. I don't know why they have to have a home. I'm not the kind of artist anyway that like a Taylor Swift or Eric Church, where they write these masterpieces, albums, and there's maybe an underlying message throughout the album. I mean, my crap's all over the place anyway. One song to the next contradicts itself on my albums anyway. I just love great songs if I can get my hands on them.
Well, and one of the great songs on this album, Minimum Wage, which congratulations on all the success of that seeing it climbing up the charts. But have you been able to perform it in front of like a big crowd yet?
No. I mean, outside of some television performances, we haven't. I did perform it at the Opry House for the ACM Awards, but the crowd was up on the second tier, and there was only a few hundred people up there, and it almost didn't even feel like there was anybody in the room just because of the circumstances,
Could you hear the applause from the stage, though, at least?
Kinda. I mean, it literally. It felt like I was at a Luke Bryan concert, like there's nobody there.
Poor guy.
Yeah, I know it.
Well, now you know the feeling, but you're going to be able to do that really soon here because you just announced the Friends and Heroes tour, which is very, very exciting.
Me too. By the way, speaking of that, I forgot. That's right. We announced that. There's so much going on this week.
Right?
But you know what? We were able to get, because last year I had John Anderson, the Bellamy Brothers, and Trace Atkins. The last 2 years, that's what we had. And then we wanted to keep that format, but change it up a little bit. So I can't get rid of Trace. He's literally like a giant skin tag at this point. So Trace is coming back out. But we were able to get Martina McBride, which blew my mind. That was a tough get, but so excited that she agreed to do this. And then Matt got old Tracy Bird to dust off his cowboy hat and come out of Texas and do the show with us, so that's going to be fun. And Lindsay Ells is coming out also, which I don't know her that well. I haven't met her, I think, once before, maybe twice, but I know I met her once before, and she's super talented, so it's going to be a blast. But anyway, the reason I even recorded Minimum Wage to begin with is just because I thought it would be a fun song to open my shows with.
Right. Yeah. And then you never got to do it.
I know it.
There's one other thing that is really exciting going on with you right now. I mean, a million, but one other thing I really wanted to talk about. all of the entrepreneurship that you're doing. I mean, you got like, what, 4 Old Reds now. You've got Smithworks Vodka and the seltzers, like a million things going on. But how do you split up your time to make sure that you're involved in all these projects, like genuinely involved?
Well, it's crazy because people should know about me that it's not like I'm sitting around thinking of, these big business ideas and what's my next thing going to be for my empire. These are just opportunities that happen to come my way. And when you do this, things come your way, and you have to make a decision on whether it's right for you or not. You're no different than you probably. You have to figure out what things work for you or not. And for me, with Smithworks and with Old Red, it was like those two things really seem to fit. And I hate to say my brand, but that's what they say, so I'll say it. But just my personality, people, guess what? I drink, and everybody knows it. Get over it, And so obviously it's a perfect fit for me to launch a brand of vodka and now those seltzers. And with Old Red, I mean, my God, it's a music venue. It's a really, at the end of the day, I mean, there is food there. It's a great restaurant, but for me, it's all about being able to go there and get a drink. And almost any time of the day, I'm talking 10 a.m. to 2 a.m., almost any time of the day, there's somebody in there playing live,
Oh, yeah.
And that's what I love about it, because that's me. That's what I will be doing when all of this stuff goes away. I'm still going to be a country singer, and that's what's important to me, So those two things work for me, and I, sometimes I think people imagine me, like in these big boardroom meetings and
yes.
Charts, and trust me, that is not the case. I just kind of go along. I'm pretty laid back when it comes to that stuff, and I just trust my team around me, and I let them, do what they're good at, and I just take pictures for the restaurant and
you just look pretty.
Yep.
Well, congratulations on everything, Blake. Just really excited to see everything you have going on, and Body Language officially out. Man, I hope to see you in person again soon here.
I miss you. I
miss you.
I literally miss you. Some of my favorite moments at radio the last few years is taking pictures with you. And it's like literally taking pictures with my daughter.